Today's show, DeQuell Jackson is going to join us. We'll get to the Guardians later, and we're going to do Ask the Show, where we'll answer your wacky, wild questions about anything. Tyvis will share his sex life stories and all of that. That's coming up a little bit later in the show.
Come on now,
but we begin with the latest on Deshaun Watson, and the latest is there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. The AP is reporting, guys, that the word will not come down today. Rob Monty, I think that's how you pronounce his name, from the AP. The waiting game for a decision on Deshaun Watson's discipline case will continue into next week. According to two sources, he goes on to say in the article, there will be no decision by Judge Robinson today. So we are on to next week. I mean, we're all frustrated. I get it.
I wanted the Friday news dump. I really did. I was banking on it.
You couldn't have thought that was coming. I told you weeks ago what was happening here.
Tell us again. Refresh our memory.
Here, arbitration works like this. Once
Yeah.
they make their final case, the judge, you get your final briefs into the judge. And it usually takes some time.
Yeah.
When people were talking about it was going to happen before camp, I'm like, there's no way that's coming before the camp, right? So this could still be a couple weeks out. It still could be a couple weeks out.
I hope so, because I don't want to come down next week.
I'm just telling you, in my experiences, that what has happened is it always is a long time, right? Some are longer than others, but it's not quick.
So is it going to bleed into the season?
No, I ain't going to go that
Okay.
far.
Maybe after the first preseason
I'm
game.
going to ask you this. Okay. We're going to get an opportunity to see Deshaun Watson in action before they give a sort of a decision
When is the preseason
on the
game?
suspension.
First preseason
I think
game.
it's the 4th.
Well, here, I can tell you
No.
this. I can tell you this.
No, not that
No,
early.
that's early. You're talking about the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
game.
that's what the season
It's the week after that.
You will see him under center in a uniform for a while here. Right? And then the other thing, I'll just tell you this, G. We don't know which way this thing is going to swing at the end of the day, right? And then I'm concerned about this. I was telling Tyvis before the show. The Browns dropping like flies. Like flies. I mean, every day somebody going down.
We'll get to that in one second, Brett.
saying that.
But hold on. The Browns' first preseason game is 2 weeks from today. Exactly 2 weeks from today, August the 12th. Brett, do you think we're going to have a decision before then?
Yeah, I think you'll get one before this one. Because I think that all arms are going to come to bear on her, right? This is not the city of whatever asking for relief from an arbitrator.
Yeah.
I think the power of the NFL and the media perception, you got all national media here in town waiting for this to occur.
Right.
And so this is going to go down. So I'm sure it's coming together, but it's not. I never expected it at the beginning of camp. I knew it was going to be sometime after camp, and I just think it's probably, in all honesty, going to come before the first preseason game.
You know, selfishly, I don't want it to happen next week. Sorry for you guys, because you'll be here. I'm off next week, and I don't want it to happen while I'm on vacation, because I want to be able to talk about it when it does. But who knows? I mean, so you think it'll happen sometime in the next 14 days?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the best guess.
I don't know whether I'm excited about this or I don't know how to feel because you can't really project. I can't say, well, since it's taking this long, we good. Or since it's taking this long, this looks bad.
Yeah.
We had they done waited you all the way out. You don't know which way it's gonna go. And I think that it also puts, and we'll talk about this kind of later, I don't know if their indecision on not knowing when the suspension is coming, how that is going to affect their roster management.
Yeah.
Because right now, it seems like the Browns are in a hold period.
Yeah. Well, let's get to that right now.
Yeah.
But by the way, one other quick thing from this article that I thought was worth mentioning. I don't know if this is really news or not, but Rob Motti does say that a union rep that he spoke to said they do expect some suspension. They're not expecting zero. Mm-hmm. So even the players union is saying, hey, we know it's not going to be zero, but they do expect him to play this year. All right. Now, you talked about it, Brad. You mentioned dropping like flies. Yeah. I personally think you're overstating a little bit.
Definitely is.
But here's the thing. Gee, you more than anybody, and I agree with you, but you more than anybody have been harping on the fact that the Browns need to add a wide receiver. And now Anthony Schwartz yesterday in camp, who is obviously is unproven, but the guy was a high draft pick. So they do have some expectations for him. He goes down with a non-contact injury to the knee. That's obviously probably not good. Hopefully he's going to be okay, but usually you hear non-contact the knee, it's usually not a good result. So if he is seriously injured, it seems like it's even more imperative that the Browns do something at the position.
I've been saying this all along. When they had David Bell, I've been saying it when they had Anthony Schwartz. I've been saying it when Donovan Peoples-Jones was cool. Here's the thing. You can't count on receivers, first or second year players, to come out there and hit the ground running and just be ready to go. There's a ramp up period, right? You got guys that are coming in college, and in college, you can get in and out of your breaks. You just got a different gear from certain people. I know what type of speed and game time it is. You get out here and you get with the veterans, you start to notice something. Hold on, I can't pull away from cats like I used to. Where my separation? I gotta go 95% just to get what I need to get done over here. And then what happens? You don't have any acclimation period. Then there comes the hamstrings. Then there's the growing injuries. You need a time to learn as a veteran how you need to develop your body and get your body ready so you can get to the season. See, a lot of rookie cats get out there 1-2 days, all of a sudden they're on the side with the bike and the Gatorade. Now, you looking at with Anthony Schwartz, the Gatorade, sipping that cold Gatorade, that ain't gonna do nothing for you. And if the Cleveland Browns got two, I understand that they're third-round picks, but you got Anthony, David Bell has a stress fracture in his foot. That's not going. So he's not going to be ramped up and ready to go.
Yeah.
First game against the Carolina Panthers. Yeah. Now you're looking at Demetric Felton. He's a nice ball player. Donovan Peoples-Jones, okay. And you got the rookies that's coming in here that you looking to. No, go get you a receiver and stop playing around.
Cyrus, before you jump in, do you think the Browns are waiting for the Watson suspension news before they make a decision?
Well, I think that they were waiting to make a big time signing, like a Will Fuller or something like that, because obviously Deshaun Watson would be perfect with Will Fuller. But now that they're having people drop, they have no choice but to add wide receivers. See, now not only Schwartz being out, David Bell being out, now you're leaning more on Demetric Felton and all these young guys.
Right.
Now they're taking all the reps. Guess what? Now their bodies is getting beat up. And they ain't going to be ready for the season. So you got to find some guys to come in there to get some reps off of these guys. So now I think with Schwartz going down, I think they're forced to make a signing.
So I go into this. To Travis's point. Again, dropping like flies.
Will you stop with that?
Let me no.
We don't know how long either of these guys are going to be out for.
I want you to understand this.
Yeah.
Travis, really, people didn't drop like this in no camp. They didn't. What here?
It happens every year in camp. This happens every year in camp.
This is day two. You're a young man here. Listen to me here. Listen to the story here, because you've had all off season to put yourself in perfect position to get better. Yes, you have. You should be ramping up here. People are dropping before the season.
But it's different.
No, it's not different.
Listen, going out there running routes on air and then going out there running routes against somebody, that's two totally different games.
And by the way, guys, very important, we don't know how long either of these guys are out. Bell seems like he's going to be fine.
But this gets me back to my point. I told you a while ago, like G said, they need another receiver in here. Right?
Yeah.
We cannot be counting on these young dudes. This is not Jamar Chase. I don't see Jamar Chase around here.
No.
I don't see him around here.
No.
Right? So go get you a proven person and bleed these young people in, right? Stop putting the stress on them.
Yeah.
Let them develop over time, and then when it's time to cut them in, we'll cut them in and cut the old dudes out. But until then, the worst thing that can happen to the Browns, the worst thing that can happen to the Browns, Travis, is this: that people start falling off here before we even get going.
That's terrible.
Guys, I think the Browns need to be aggressive right now. I don't think they should wait for the Watson suspension. I think they feel fairly secure that he's going to be suspended for part of the year and not all of the year. Mm-hmm. So I think you've got to assume that he's going to play at some point, and you're still trying to win a Super Bowl. I know even with Jacoby Brissett for 17 games, you don't want to give up, but you got to be realistic about your expectations. But if Watson's going to play at least half the season, then the sky's the limit. If you stay in it with Jacoby Brissett, you can win a Super Bowl with Deshaun Watson. We've talked a lot about Will Fuller. Obviously, his relationship with Deshaun Watson, as far as we know, is a good one. The only thing that makes me nervous about Will Fuller is we're talking about guys dropping like flies. Well, he dropped like a fly.
He stay hurt.
And so that's a concern. So now this guy's really old, but he can still play, and he's very reliable. Emmanuel Sanders. I know he's 36 years old. He still played 14 games last year, had 700 yards and 4 touchdowns. The guy can still play. He's a slot receiver. I think the Browns should be in on him.
Call him up. And I know
he's been in a lot of playoff games too.
Well, Cole Beasley is another guy that's out there. Julio Jones just got. We talked about Julio. Yeah. He signed with the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
And Tampa Bay does this all the time.
Well, you doing all this? You might as well go get T.O. He's sitting out there.
I will say this though.
He want to work. He won't work.
I get the fact that you got Jacoby Brissett. I get that fact that you got him and you don't know what's going on with Jacoby Brissett at this point and Deshaun Watson. But listen, your veterans are looking around.
That's true.
Myles Garrett just made the comment yesterday. Hey, look, it don't matter what we need to do. The goal in the plan is to win games regardless of what it is. So he's looking at Andrew Berry. He's like, look, hey, now I know we focus on Deshaun, but even I can see as a defensive end, you need a receiver. Right. Now, what we'll be doing here, you can't continue to come out here and with these young guys.
Well, here's the other thing. I'll just say this. This is the funny thing. The veteran receivers, the veteran players, rely on the young players to be spelling them right now. Right? Yes. I'm not working hard now. Like, work the young fella hard, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, the young fella is the one falling out.
Yeah.
You got Amari Cooper.
Can you guys even name a wide receiver on the Browns besides Cooper and Donovan Peoples-Jones that's healthy?
Jamarcus Bradley.
Okay.
They got.
When you start doing that, that's a problem.
That's
Jakeem Grant.
Which I haven't heard.
I
haven't
heard
or seen anything about
I think
him.
they're planning on him being just a return guy. But
so that's why Demetrius Felton is at receiver now.
At least he's caught passes in the NFL, unlike the rest of these guys. I mean,
he's a gadget guy, though. Grant is a gadget guy.
I get it, but at least he's caught passes in the NFL. The rest of these guys have not.
And that's the part that hurts so much. Grant is a gadget guy, but so is Anthony Schwartz, and we needed him to be a receiver.
They're hoping he's going to be more than that.
Hold on.
Schwartz showed that he can get open.
Man, you go look at his highlights in college. Every touch he got was a reverse, a shovel pass, a double chocolate reverse front with cherries on the top. Stop.
Obviously, they're hoping he could do more.
Yes,
but
they
we don't
were
know
hoping,
that yet.
but he was slow last year. So this year was pivotal.
So do we need one receiver? Do we need, or do we need
I'm signing Emmanuel Sanders today.
Receivers? Do we need two?
To your point, you may need two. And to your point, Jacoby Brissett needs another receiver that he can completely trust. And Emmanuel Sanders is not going to drop the ball. He's going to run perfect routes. They need to get him. I signed him today.
Do you want to bring? Listen.
Yeah, go ahead.
Listen, a vet ain't coming in at no training camp. I'm gonna tell you that right now. They old. They're not coming.
That's fair.
I show you that I'm in shape,
especially
but I'm
Emmanuel
not
Sanders.
doing camp. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
But Will Fuller would have to come in. He ain't that old.
Look, T.O. will come in.
Chad Johnson, right? You gonna get Chad?
We get Calvin Johnson out of retirement.
So when they sign them, when is it important that they sign them? Probably before the season starts.
Right.
So
that's true.
it's not nothing to hit the panic button right now. But, like, it would be nice. Right now, the young guys are getting reps. With these guys going down, you bringing in these rookies, they getting all the reps. So we can make a decision on not if we can trust them when the season starts.
Right.
They're going to show us right now.
Let me ask you.
But once it get close, if they ain't looking good, now we sign somebody.
Let me ask you a question. The way this roster is built.
Oh, my Lord.
No, seriously. The way this roster is built, do you really want to hand the keys over to this group? I mean, they're
what
built,
you mean?
They're built for now.
I'm talking about they're going to make a signing before the season starts.
He's just saying it doesn't need to happen.
I'm saying today it doesn't need to happen.
So here,
we got to see what we got.
It doesn't require you to be Albert Einstein here, right? Like, we are short here, right? So let me start mining, right?
Yeah.
Because it's going to take some time to land somebody. You're not going to walk in and call them up tomorrow and go, like, I'll be there on Thursday. That's not going to happen.
Well, but to your point,
T.O. would.
To Tyvus's point, Emmanuel Sanders is a pro's pro.
That's what I'm saying.
He don't need weeks and weeks to get ready.
Listen,
but you want to be in touch with him and say, hey, we want to bring you in. You know.
And if that's the case, I've been in the league, so I know. For me personally, it takes my body 1 week to get into game shape. 1 week of practice is all I need. So if I come in the week before we start the season, I will be good for the game.
So you 1 week at how old?
Yeah,
oh, my Lord.
No, seriously.
These guys 33, 35.
Listen, we got
only 28.
You got to get some 454 flex on to get yourself
ready. You got to get the Tiger Balm, rub down.
Honestly, let me ask you this question. This is like a serious question in the schematics. When you're a receiver, how much does the receiver's knowledge of routes, the route tree, how much does that help in scheme to scheme? So say, for instance, you play in Seattle. If you play in Seattle, you play receiver with Seattle, could you go to San Francisco and say, okay, well, this is kind of like this a little bit? Or is there some time period that you got to get ramped up to learn the playbook?
Well, that's the thing. So the quarterback have ways of telling you what you got. So basically, if a free agent signing happened in a week and they was to throw him in the game.
Okay.
So say Josh Gordon came and he's never been to Kevin Stefanski, and they said, you know what, we need you for this game.
Yeah.
But what would happen is, one, the quarterback would tell you in the huddle or at the line there, signal something to you so you'll know what the route is. Or they'll pair you up with the receiver that's next to you, and you just be like, what I got.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you. Or you can go to the side. You always on our sideline. Anytime we have receivers, just line up on our side, and the coach is right there. This is what you got.
I didn't know that.
That's like being traded in the middle of the season in basketball. You get there and they put you in the game. You don't know what you're doing. Like, where I'm supposed to be? What I'm supposed to do?
Yeah.
That's in season.
That's in season.
As opposed to if they signed somebody like in the middle of preseason.
Oh no, he can learn. He got
still
time.
be all right.
Yeah.
But by the way, one side note before we move on here. One of you guys mentioned Chad Johnson. I just had to unfollow him on Twitter. Do you guys follow Chad Johnson on Twitter?
I don't know if I do or not.
He tweets too much.
It's mutual fault. We follow each other.
Yeah, I had to unfollow him.
Why?
I love him, but he tweets too much. I don't like people that tweet too much.
Ain't
that what Twitter's for?
How much is too much for you? Like
He's tweeting like he's like retweeting and liking like every tweet that he gets. It's too much. It was clogging up my timeline.
Wow.
I had to unfollow him.
That's what Twitter's for.
And I love, he was one of my favorite players when he played.
This cat bully.
He actually was that was actually my role
Yeah.
model when I was a kid. I wanted to be like Chad.
He was sweet.
Did you?
I did. I was a wide receiver as a kid.
Plus, he talked a lot of trash.
Like, I did all the antics like Chad and everything.
Did you
He
do
was
the
kinda
trash
like the same
talking that he
people.
did? Calling out. Remember he had the list of the D-backs that he was
I
going
used
against?
to-
The most fascinating thing about Chad Johnson is
Yeah.
the fact that he eats McDonald's 4 times a day.
That's insane.
And don't look
that's
at he ain't gained the power.
And tried to be, and then he almost fought Brandon Marshall.
No,
over that.
but it was a good point. He was saying that Brandon Marshall was saying, I eat healthy.
Yeah.
And he was saying, but you get hurt. I eat McDonald's and I don't miss any games.
And he
So
said,
it's like, all
McDonald's
right, that makes
is
sense.
not gonna help me catch the football.
No.
It's not gonna make me drop it or catch it.
I eat one chicken McNugget, I gained 5 pounds. He doesn't gain anyway. All right, speaking of defensive backs, John Johnson had some interesting comments. Day 2 of Browns camp, guys. Obviously, it's a big season for him. He was really good with the Rams. He was disappointing last year in his first year at the Browns. There's a lot of talent in that Browns safety room.
Yes.
And they should play well. John Johnson, this was the comment. The vibe is way better this year. Lots of guys back. It's fun. We're enjoying it, and we can't wait to be out on the field. Some people might take. You know me. I love
Baker.
shots at Baker.
You went straight at Baker.
But I actually don't think that's a shot at Baker.
No.
You do?
Yeah.
I think that's more about the defense. Because remember, last year there were a lot of new faces on defense, including him. This year, everybody's back. They know each other better. You're not buying that?
Boys,
All right, you be the one to rip Baker.
in the words of Conceited, slow it down. I just dissed you. Do you need me put it in subtitles or something? You talk about vibes, right? This is the most. Everyone knew this. There's 2 factions. There's people that was in Baker Mayfield's camp. He just so happened to have the people that were mutes, guys that didn't talk. Nick Chubb like him, the offensive line like him, cool. But then you have a whole nother faction. And one of the most vocal people in the locker room was John Johnson III.
Yes.
And his, now I wouldn't say disdain, but when Odell Beckham Jr. left, it just was this. Either you on this side of the camp or you on that side of the camp.
Facts.
And when they started seeing Odell Beckham Jr. out, and they say, yo, people showed up at the airport crying, sending letters. I said, y'all crazy. And Baker over here chilling. And then for Myles Garrett, he really signified it. He said, yeah, hey, come on back. You know what I'm saying? He said, hey, come on back and let's go ahead and do this. Now, mind you, this dude got cut in the middle of the year.
He's still a free agent.
And your best player, who is the vocal person, is reaching out to him saying, come on back over here, we can get this done. What do you think that means? The vibe. Baker said he woke up feeling dangerous. He had a lot of feelings, and guess what? He's telling him the vibe was not on and popping.
I gotta get
You guys agree?
I gotta get the young fella tape.
Wait a minute.
I gotta get the young fella tape.
G is not 100% wrong at all.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a shot like that. First
Yeah.
of all, I did have the pleasure of being with the Texans for a week. Before I got cut, week with the Texans.
That count?
So I got to be around Deshaun Watson, and for sure, with him around, the vibe is fun. He's electric. Watching him, that all practices up tempo. It's just better when he's there. So I'll give John Johnson that. But as far as the defense goes, it's the same guys back.
Right.
A lot of people don't realize that when he says the vibe, I think he means as a whole team.
Right.
When you're playing in the league and even in college, it's two different wars. The offense is on one field, the defense is on the other field. Y'all barely really see each other. Y'all see each other for like 2 periods, 2 team comp periods. That's it.
Right.
But outside of that, it's boom, boom. And for him to say that the vibe is better, like that means that they getting along more, they talking, they actually meet. Defense is talking to offense is talking to defense, they hanging out with each other, and it's more of a family thing. And I think that's what they needed, because last year he said that it was at times where it seemed like they didn't even mess with each other. We came in the building, did our thing, but that was it. But it seems like with this, now they're actually becoming a family and hanging out more. So I think that's what he means when he says the vibe is better.
Fred?
So I'm going to come to you as the OG.
Here we go.
The OG here. I listened to the young fella here. He makes a lot of good points here. But I have to come to you like, do you know that you could be on a team and one person could wreck the team?
That's a fact.
One person could wreck the team.
Yeah.
Divide it like the Red Sea. Split it, right? Real easy, right? And so I think that when that person is removed from the mix, then what happens is there's a convalescence of everybody else coming together, right? And I think that's what is occurring right now. And that's not saying that in this case, the G is Baker Mayfield was a bad guy. He's just bad for this crew. That's right. And then now it's like a weight is lifted here, and we feel like we're free. We can have some fun. Now, that don't mean it's going to translate to big wins here, but the atmosphere is better. Sometimes you can get better by removing somebody that don't fit.
And part of this, don't you think, is Deshaun's just a better player than Baker. Forget the personalities, whether you like him or not. When you're on a team, if your quarterback's awesome, aren't you just going to be naturally more excited because you think you have a better chance to win?
Absolutely.
Right? So I think that's just a big part of it. It could be whoever it was. Like, I'm going to be more excited. I'm sure the players like Jacoby Brissett, but if I'm a player on the Browns defense, I'm much more excited seeing Deshaun Watson play than Jacoby Brissett. Because he's a lot better.
But I say this too. I say sometimes in the atmosphere when it's just fun.
Sure.
I enjoy just coming because it's fun.
I imagine Jacoby Brissett is a funny type guy.
Right.
And I know this because somebody that I trained with, like, worked out with him before, like pre-draft, and they was like, he like one of the goofiest guys ever.
Yeah.
So having that around and just being fun and joking with people, that makes the feeling in the atmosphere better.
Right.
Like, you want to come to practice. It doesn't feel like a job.
But that's look at us on this show. When we all come in, we're having fun, we're joking around. Off the air, we're even more inappropriate than we are on the air, right? Like, we're saying all kinds of wacky stuff. We all have fun when we come in here, so it doesn't feel like work.
Like 2 hours is gone?
I know. We're just having a good time every day.
And you know what else you can have fun with? When you're winning. See, y'all done been on. See,
sure.
Here's a feeling, and I try to give this to different people when they say, how is it when you talk about winning? When you're a player and you invest that much time of your life and stuff you don't like, I got to lift weights, I got to wake up at 6, I got to run, I got to be accountable. The only thing that makes any of that worth it is winning. We love each other, but that feeling you get when you win and you sitting in the locker room dirt tired, but you won though. You making all them deposits in the bank, all them deposits. You putting all that money in every single week. But it's worth it when you go out and you got that down payment for that house.
Fact.
You give them that cash, you just be, I ain't even worried about it. And y'all been on teams where y'all done been on teams that were so good, that had the synergy so well, that you thought you was going to win every game. You could have lost yesterday, but you say, we going to win tomorrow.
For sure.
That's the most intoxicating feeling in the world, to know you on a team and they can't mess with you.
Well, you need that because at times when seasons get tough, you band together when it gets thick. When you're on a bad team, it splinters so quick that I've been on some great teams, and I've been on a couple bad teams, and the bad teams. Hell, I don't even remember who was on the damn team.
You done excommunicated him out of your mind.
I got to go to an old media guy to see, he was
Who the hell was the point guard here?
Right, he was there. He was there too. Yeah, like when you go to Ohio State, and the great thing is, what the Browns is trying to do, is the Browns is trying to build sustainability. They're trying to build something big, and you know when you playing for Ohio State, y'all like, there ain't really nobody that's gonna beat us.
No. This is guaranteed a dub.
Yeah, this is a dub today. Like,
the only way we gonna lose is if we don't play to our abilities. If that's the only way. but we're going to win every Saturday for sure.
Guys, one other quote I wanted to show you from John Johnson. He talked about the safeties, and Tyvus is our safety / defensive back expert.
Yes.
I think we can do pretty much anything. Our safeties don't really get mixed in that top tier, so I think it's an opportunity for us to know each other, feed off each other, and be the best trio in the league. You look at the Browns depth chart, obviously, with John Johnson and Ronnie Harrison, so I couldn't think of it. Grant Delpit, of course.
Yep, that's the three.
Now, all three guys are really talented.
Yes, they are.
John Johnson, again, I thought he was kind of average last year after he'd been really good with the Rams. And Grant Delpit has all kinds of talent, but he's been hurt.
Yeah.
Do you think this trio can be one of the best in the league?
I personally love the trio that they have there. Ronnie Harrison is a guy who can come in and check tight ends, kind of the aggressor out of the three. Got that attitude, got that dog mentality. You need a guy like that. So he's one that I really like. Delpit was just young last year. Everybody, this would be his third year,
right?
But last year was really his first year on the field because he got hurt. So therefore, he made a couple of MAs, missed assignments, and they showed in some of those games. I think now that he understands the system and that this year too, he'll be better and not making those mistakes. And I think he's like a better in the box. I think he's a box safety. He's one of those ones that come up aggressively. They need to send him on the blitzes, let him come field a run. Now, John Johnson, I really liked his game with the Rams a lot. He was so under the radar, but he was so smart and understood things that safety shouldn't even know. Like the way he positioned himself to make plays is what made him really good. And I think the Browns kind of put a cap on him because they try to put him at the post safety. And playing in that system, that post safety, it gets boring. I'm not gonna lie. Being back there 15 yards
You losing
deep,
focus?
You don't lose focus, but you get antsy. It's like I want to get some action.
Right.
So now you catch yourself trying to get especially him being close to the ball with the Rams. They kind of put him in the box a lot or around the slot.
Well, they need to do that this year because he was special in the Rams.
But see, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Who's going to play the post safety? You going to put Delpit at the free? No, because he's better in the run. But John Johnson is good in the run, too. So it's like they got to find a way to get him to utilize him correctly because most of the time when he's productive is when he's around the box. And I don't know what position – nickel? I don't know what position they could put him at because Delpit – I don't really think Delpit's really good in the post.
That's Joe Woods. Come on. Listen,
he's got to do it better.
Joe, I'm going to tell you something right quick. Let me holler at you, Joe. Now listen. Look.
John Johnson is with my – he signed with my agency too, Sports Stars.
Joe, you got a bunch of you got world-class athletes over there. You got the makings of a top 3 defense. You got 2 dynamic edge rushers. You got the most dynamic linebacker in JOK. You also got 3 safeties that's interchangeable. Denzel Ward, Newsome can play inside and outside. A.J. Green, you got length at corner. They got 6'3" corners. Now listen, if you come out here, I know something. If you come out here against the Carolina Panthers and rush 4 and play vanilla zone behind it, I know something. You will not get a pass.
Wait a minute.
We need aggressive. They need to be very aggressive. I agree, man.
What do you know?
I know what Baker Mayfield does and does not do well. We've all seen it. He does not diagnose blitzes well. He does not operate well out of the shotgun. And if you show him a pre-snap look and then give him a post-snap look, he out here patting the ball, throwing the ball, doing spin moves, throwing it behind his back. You better not have Clowney and Myles Garrett out here playing 4 and zone and talk about we gonna get better next week.
And they should be safety blitzing. They should be doing everything. Throw the kitchen sink.
You
don't like that?
I got a question. I'm just
Go
the
ahead.
guy that said I got a question.
Because I got a question too.
Because here's the question, right? Do they know what to do with talent? Because sometimes you can have too much talent and know what to do. And
I don't think you can have too much talent.
Okay, I've been on here.
I agree.
Love my college coach to death, right? Yeah. Love my college coach to death. Did not know what to do with too much talent. It was too much.
But that's on the coach. It's not too much.
No, but I'm saying here, when you tell me John Johnson looks like in L.A., he's playing better like this. I'm listening to you.
I'm telling you.
He plays better like this.
Yeah.
And you say, well, no, we put you over here because this is how I wanted to work. But you now are negating his skill set, right?
Yeah.
That means you're not doing what's necessary. You're not reading the chessboard right.
Right.
Like, so does that now translate to why Chubb is in the backfield and Hunt is on the sideline. I'm like, you got to know what to do here.
Guys, they got this year to figure it out, all right?
Yeah.
That's like, if you're putting John Johnson out of position, that's like taking Myles Garrett and say, oh, go take care of this running back in the passing game. I mean, that's not what he's there for.
I think the good thing about them is that they're interchangeable. And to a quarterback, okay, so every quarterback's going to come to the line, say that the Browns' base defense is cover 3. So they're going to be taught to identify which one of these safeties is the box safety, because that one of these safeties is going to tell me what coverage they in, because they're going to probably show a too-high shell. But I know Dale Pitt is the strong safety. So if Dale Pitt comes down in the box, boom, it's cover 3. So my pre-snap read is him. Set, go. I'm looking at him. If he comes down, oh, it's cover 3. Boom.
Right.
But if they switch it, like, okay, now I'm looking like, okay, if he just hold it for a minute, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what is he doing? I can't figure out if they in cover 3, and then John Johnson is the guy that's coming down. All right, now I'm looking at the wrong guy. That's buying Myles Garrett an extra second to get there. So they need, with them being talented enough, with both being able to play in the box, they need to have a way to switch both of them down.
Yeah. The secondary as a whole, and you mentioned the names at corner, like they have to be as loaded with talent as any team in the entire NFL in the secondary. The question is, will they use them correctly, and will they stay healthy? We know Denzel Ward's banged up again. He's missed games every year. Delpit's been injured a lot. Greedy's been injured a lot. Outside of Johnson, I mean, all these guys. Greg Newsom's been injured a lot in college.
He's been injured a lot.
Johnson's the only one of their top 6 DBs that hasn't missed a lot of time. But the amount of talent they have in that secondary may be unrivaled in the entire league. I mean, that's how good they are.
I tell you what, for Baker Mayfield, personally, I would run 2-man a lot that game, because Baker Mayfield, to me, he got to show me that his arm is back. If we seen the clip, did y'all see the clip of him throwing the throwing the receiver? He got to show it to me that we can get beat. If you running 2-man, you got your corners and all your men playing underneath routes, and you got your 2 safeties over the top, forcing him to throw it over the top.
Yeah,
your corner should eat it up all day, because he's gonna underthrow it. So that should be.
Now Carolina does. We're talking specifically about this one game. Carolina has a pretty good receiving core.
They do.
They got good offense.
They got a lot of
talent. I don't know about how good their offensive line is.
No, I don't. Yeah,
but
that's a question.
At the skill position, at least week 1, you assume McCaffrey's going to be healthy week 1. He's as good as any back in the league. Mm-hmm. They got DJ Moore. They got the other who's
Robbie,
the
Robbie.
I know Robbie Anderson, but they got some other kid they just drafted. Terrence Marshall, who's talented. We don't know how good he is at this point, but there's talent.
So let me ask you, what better way than telling your corners?
Yeah.
Y'all got every underneath route. Don't even worry about nothing deep. Anything that they run short, undercut it and try to make a play on the ball. I'm Denzel Ward. I'm like, bet.
Yeah, right.
Bet. I ain't worried about nothing, because if they go deep, the safety's got it. And he ain't going to throw it deep anyways, because his arm might not be 100%.
But I mean, they want to send a message in that game.
They gonna blitz. Their offensive line's terrible. They gonna blitz.
If they dislike him as much as we think the defense does, they're gonna want to kick his ass.
I think Myles Garrett has set the tone. And by the way, they did a better job. I talked to him. You don't just generate pressure by blitzing. You can do stunts up front.
Yeah, sure.
You can move Myles Garrett around, put Myles Garrett and Jadeveon Clowney on the same side. You could kick Myles Garrett down to a 3 technique. You could bring JOK off the edge, right? There's all kind of things that you can do with 4. Just don't make them say every single play, I have to diagnose what they're doing.
I think Joe Woods fell into the fact that we got Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett. Like, I shouldn't have to send 5 or 6 every play, because they should be able to get them. Can't nobody block them one-on-one. So I think that's what he fell in love with. It's like, what better way? Why would I send somebody and put a hole in the zone, and the quarterback might just so happen to pick up the blitz and hit the wide open spot in the zone? When I was in Seattle, Sherm hated fire zones. They hated it. They was like, stop calling them fire zones, because 1, people wasn't getting home, and 2, it leaves a hole in the defense.
Guys,